All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. And yes, you read the title of the video correctly. So, back when James Gunn took over and they announced a reboot of the DC universe, there were three possible ways that they could go about doing this. And out of the three options, it does appear that the worst option is actually happening. And we warned everybody at the beginning of this that this could be a possibility. And so it was announced. Well, first of all, let's talk about those three different ways that this could go. And then we're going to talk about what James Gunn is actually doing. And then we're going to get into the photos that I have grabbed to show you guys. First of all, you could have done a complete reboot of the entire universe and just brought in all brand new people to play everybody and start fresh. And a lot of people wanted that. And I think if you're not going to bring back the original actors, I think that would have been my favorite. Well, that would have been my favorite option. The second option was to reboot but keep the same characters and have them in a different continuity, which is what everybody was hoping for. That was the best case scenario. But obviously that didn't happen because we know Cavill immediately was let go, and then Affleck's not coming back, and neither doesn't look like Gal Gadot is either. The third option, and the worst option, was that Gunn was going to keep all of his crap that he had done, like Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad, and get rid of everything else. Which, to me, seemed like the most ridiculous thing. Like, how could anybody be that narcissistic or that obsessive over of their own stuff? But now it appears that that is exactly what is happening. There are lots of reports out there that James Gunn is going to, in the new Superman movie, have them reference the kryptonite bullet that Superman was shot with that was discussed in the Suicide Squad. Now, this brings up a whole different problem because it was also mentioned that Superman had a poop fetish. Yeah, so it looks like Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad are going to make it through, but nothing else. And it's all James Gunn. And I told everybody this was probably going to happen. It's a bad look. It's a bad look no matter how you look at it. It's giving the middle finger to everybody else. All right? So let's take a look at some of the photos that I have grabbed. First of all, I needed to thank Sandy Region for the super thanks during the video. That was awesome. I greatly appreciate it, and I will continue to show the people that do that. I do appreciate all of the support. So in a surprise move, Warner Brothers has been on the rampage again, and they are getting rid of some IPs, and the studio is shutting down Rooster Teeth after 21 years. Now, I am not familiar with this company at all, but a lot of people are, and it's a shame that they're going this route. They could be shopping its Roost Podcast Network and popular IPs such as some of the things that were introduced in this company to other places, but we will see. This is probably one of my favorite shots of Ben Affleck as Batman that I've seen, and I'm grateful for people who send these to me. I won't share everything, but the certain ones that resonate with me, I will share them and will include them in my pictures folder for everybody to enjoy. All right, so it's very interesting. So James Gunn had somebody ask him on Threads, what's inspiring our Superman movie other than the Donner films? He said, but there are too many to count. But you could see that he posted a number of photos here. Now, you could see in the Superman symbol here on his chest that it does have the yellow around it, and that's where he took the inspiration to have that little bit of yellow, okay? Now, this next photo, and I'm going to mention something here, and I hate to mention this, but this is somebody who was contemplating suicide, and Superman helps them, okay? And you can see that he is cradling this child, which on the surface looks very innocent and very compassionate. But again, when you know James Gunn's past, this can seem a little bit disturbing. And that's what concerns me about the image of a character like this and people like this. And so I'm a little worried about how that will be perceived by the audience if there is stuff like that in the film. Here's another shot of the Fleischer Superman that also had an outline on the S as well. And then the last post he did here was Superman, and you could see it says it looked as if he had been crying, and he's got his dog there to console him. And so it looks like we're going to have a Superman who is pretty beat down in this film and is going to have some issues. It looks like he's going to have some moral issues in the film. It definitely looks like that's where James Gunn is going with this. Now, one of my past videos, I talked about Alan Tudyk being Dr. Phosphorus, and this, if people don't know, this is Alan Tudyk. I was first introduced to him in Firefly, and he was Wash in that show and also in the movie Serenity, and really enjoyed his character a lot. And he was also in Powerless, a DC show that was on TV about 4 or 5 years ago. And so this is pretty cool, and again, he is saying it's the best thing he's read. So they are in full force with promoting, James Gunn stuff here. But what's funny is we haven't seen anything about really the Batman 2 or the Penguin show. Now, this is pretty cool. I am a Lego collector. I don't know if I will be picking this up simply because this is not my cup of tea. This isn't the kind of Lego stuff that I enjoy. But they are coming out with a series of Batman the Animated Series Legos later this year. And the first is this mosaic of the actual Gotham City from Batman the Animated Series. You can see the red in the background. And it's very interesting. I'm going to show you some different photos. This was released by Lego just earlier this week. So let's take a look at some of the photos here. Here it is of the whole entire mosaic there. These are the characters that are going to come with it. Now, these to me, I do appreciate that they're doing these, but none of these to me, looking at them, would I even assume that these came from Batman the Animated Series. I just wouldn't think that. But it's still nice that they are including some figures with it. This kind of gives you a look at the size of it. It does look like it's a couple feet wide, at least. Here it is hanging on a wall. Here is the back of the box. And so you can see that it does have some 3D elements to it, but it is something that is meant to be displayed. It's not really a play set. Here's one of the more clear shots of what it is going to look like. It is pretty neat, but again, I don't think this is something I would add to my collection. It's a pretty cool little thing there of the Batmobile. Here's kind of a close-up of the texture. Some more details. And here's the person putting it together. So it is flat with some 3D elements to it. All right, now I wanted to address something that I talked about in my last video about Zack Snyder being on the Joe Rogan Experience the other day. So I did a video yesterday just talking about how insane people are getting about the success and the popularity of Zack Snyder. And several people came to me and said, you have to understand that Joe Rogan has a huge following versus someone like Michael Rosenbaum, right? And yes, you can make that argument, but here's where that argument falls apart. YouTube is available to everybody. And people in our community, people who like superheroes and DC and stuff like that, you actually hear about these types of interviews and it drums up interest and you will go view them, okay? Neither one of these people, neither Michael Rosenbaum nor Joe Rogan, have any barriers between them. These are fully available on the internet for everybody to view. So the popularity kind of goes out the window at that stage because both of these are fully accessible to the same amount of people. And the interest is simply not there for James Gunn stuff. Here's another great shot of Henry Cavill as Superman. And again, I will be including these in that folder. Now, this is something that I almost thought was real, and I was kind of hoping it was real. I do like the red color of the cape. I like what it looks like. But this is an artist rendition that posted this on Facebook, and this is just them, talking about the filming, and they're doing the Fortress of Solitude, and they figured this might be a kind of a introspective look for Superman while he's there. But it's not real. Some people thought it was, but the artist said, no, it's something he came up with. Here's another really cool shot of Ben Affleck as Batman. And here we go. This is what the main part of the video was about. It says, rumor, Superman will reference the Man of Steel, the fact that Man of Steel was shot with a kryptonite bullet. This would simply imply that Superman Bloodsport interacted with that the Superman that interacted with the Suicide Squad was David Corenswet and not Henry Cavill. But again, that also tells you that he has a poop fetish, which I think is the most ridiculous thing ever. And I really hope that they do take these characters seriously, because I can tell you that the Suicide Squad was ridiculous, especially the portrayal of Waller, and there was so much wrong with that movie. And Peacemaker is just a disgusting TV show. So it's very strange. It doesn't matter what the ratings are on those. They just are not popular products for DC. Now, somebody asked James Gunn, can you recommend me some good Superman comics for a newbie, please? I'm so excited for this film after seeing this post now. And James Gunn responded with, start with Superman for All Seasons and All-Star Superman and go from there. And so those are the two projects he is recommending. Now, I could tell you that I am not a Grant Morrison fan, and so I have never read Superman All-Star. But I will probably check it out just to see what it is. But I am not a fan of Grant Morrison at all. I think he's a hack writer. Those are my personal feelings. Some people love him. I do not. I think he is a horrible comics writer. But the Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, I will definitely check out Superman for All Seasons. Now, I thought this was pretty cool. This is from Sill. And, anybody who knows The Dark Knight Returns would have recognized this. I love this shot in Batman vs. Superman. And it even holds for just a quick second so that you can see it. It is a direct reference to The Dark Knight Returns, but it says, outside the conversation of Zack finishing his Zack Snyder's Justice League story, it appears Zack keeps bringing up Dark Knight Returns. Kevin Smith, Ben's good friend, says Batfleck still really wants to adapt this story as well. I feel there is a timeline, perhaps with Universal, if they buy Warner Brothers, that we can truly get this opus of an adaptation with Zack and Ben. And I would agree. I think it would be cool to actually see this being adapted. All right, guys, so there you have it. There's the photos I had to show you. I think that it's really cool that Lego is coming out with a Batman the Animated Series, just a bunch of different sets, which are cool, and I'm going to check those out. I don't know which ones I'm going to purchase, but I do love Batman the Animated Series, as you can see behind me. It is my favorite project outside of Zack Snyder's universe. And, well, not Zack Snyder's universe, I should say the DCEU. And, it's just crazy. I had to post this morning since yesterday when, Zack Snyder, the no-kill rule came out. I had to do that video yesterday, and there are still people arguing about this online and trying to just those mental gymnastics that are going on. It's just the craziest thing I have ever seen, the amount of hate that there is for Zack Snyder. And it's a shame, because he gave us the best renditions of these characters we will probably ever see. All right, guys, so there's my update for the day. I do appreciate all the support. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will be notified as I have new videos go up.